So after that first flight, you leave a flashlight on the ground. It's what you line up on when you're taking off, right?
Correct.
But you'd go back the next day?
I would be back there the next day and I'd pick it up. I went there 10 times in a row and did that.
Wow.
And I went to see, not only did I get the light, I want to see if there had been anybody around there.
Yeah.
There was never a footprint, nothing. No one had ever, they were never bothered at all.
Wow.
And 10 times in a row, I went up and got the flashlight and bring it back, and we'd use it again the next time.
You said it was like a 160-mile round trip to do that the next day?
More than that, probably. It was from Marina Del Rey all the way out, up over I-5 to Gorman, then down, and then up the valley a ways till you get to Highway 33. There was never a sign of anyone had ever been there, and the flashlight had burned the batteries out every time.
Wow, okay, all right.
It worked.
That worked, yeah, exactly.
It feels good to know you're doing things right. That you've accounted for as many variables and other unseen factors as you can, that the system you've built works. Pete and Bobby built their system, their airborne smuggling operation, in the summer and autumn of 1972 over the course of 13 nighttime flights into Mexico and back. Bobby learned about vapor locking a Cessna, about how to avoid flying into a mountain, and the importance of flying with lights over a military base. But more than that, though he didn't know it at the time, Bobby was also learning what kind of guy his partner Pete was. And despite the lessons learned and all the money made, Bobby's time flying pot into the States was also setting the stage for the next 20 years of his life.
How many flights total did you make then?
We made a total of 13, but we did 10 of them out of Elkhorn Valley.
Right. And then changed at the end there,
And
right?
then we changed it at the end.
Okay, all right. Well, coming back into to Elkhorn Valley then, what was the second flight like? Did you start changing things up like right away? Like
we changed things immediately. We saw where the problems were, and we went around and addressing them.
What problems did you see?
We almost ran out of fuel, so the second time I went down, I landed at Palm Springs, and then fueled the plane up there. So then it was just about an hour down there, and then we had plenty to get back in.
Right.
And then after that, we'd take our own fuel with us, so we didn't have to land any place.
Yeah.
But on the second flight, I landed at Palm Springs. And, I can't remember if we took extra fuel on the second flight or not. I don't think so. I think that's why I landed at Palm Springs. But I did have an interesting conversation with the guy when I was waiting there. I got down there in time to get something to eat and let it kind of get more dark, or getting towards more evening, because it was only an hour or so down there from Palm Springs, and I wanted to be dark when I got there. And I was sitting there at the counter and talking to the guy next to me, and he told me about a friend of his that got in trouble got caught flying marijuana from Mexico up into the States over in Arizona, got in a lot of trouble. And I said, boy, that's really stupid. I said, it could ruin your whole aviation career, go down the drain doing something like that. He said, yeah, I know. We both decided what a stupid thing to do. And then, of course, I went and got in the plane and went and did just that. But I fueled up the plane in Palm Springs, and Pete had the right runway.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, Pete. And what happened the first time, I think, Pete went down and got the pot at Javier's house and went out there himself.
Okay.
And he couldn't find the place. It was totally different. And I can see why.
Right.
And so the next time, he knew what he had done. He just didn't tell me. And we never discussed it. And the second time, though, when I got down there, we had a beacon. So a little red beacon he turned on for me so I could see it from the air 15 miles away or so.
Oh, wow.
And I could. I mean, that worked. And plus, he was on the right place. He'd have Javier bring the stuff out to him when he was there, so we all knew where to go. Or he had Javier come with him. And And let's see. Oh, also, I had them put some lights down, 3 lights on each side. But this second time, I just had them put them down straight. And we changed that because when I came in on the second flight, they were right in my eyes. They were there. It wasn't that big a deal, but it was still, could have been.
Yeah.
And the next, so I had them turn them out at 45-degree angle facing away, so you could see them a ways out, but as you got to them, they disappear. And it worked great. But that was the third one on. But on the second one, we put lights there. We had made sure we had enough fuel, had a place for me to find them down there, and it worked out real good. By the time I on that 1,800 feet, by the time I landed by where the lights were, I'd motor 1,000 feet up the runway.
Right,
I mean,
right.
with nothing to it. When you're coming in slow like that, and you touch it down and make a real short field landing with, boy, you stop real quick.
And you said you got better at the short field.
Oh
landings,
yeah,
right?
I could stop that 210 in 300 feet.
Wow.
Easy. I mean, easy. You just have to make sure you, from 300 feet where you touch the ground. You know, coming in, sometimes you go further than you think you're going to.
Right, before, exactly.
Particularly in the night out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. So that first flight too, you bounced the plane up in Elkhorn Valley coming in.
Oh Jesus! I bounced it. Yeah, but we also made it.
Did you
we
address
fixed that by Pete took a flashlight. I might have been the same one we used for putting down on the ground later, and would lean out the window and shine the flashlight when we were coming in to land at Elkhorn. He would shine it on the wheel, the landing gear right by him, and you could see the shadow of the landing gear and the flashlight on the ground as it got closer. And he would call it out to me, 10 feet, 5 feet, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we never landed hard again. I mean, those are some of the... That's a great way to land a plane at night time. You know right where you are. You just come in and, I mean, smooth as silk for the next 9 landings there. Worked great.
So that second flight, were you still flying the weed in the garbage bags?
Oh, no, the second flight we had gone and gotten some canvas duffel bags, like military duffel bags that they carry their stuff in.
Yeah.
And it was an Army surplus store out in the valley. And I went in and told them I had to have all of them the same because we were a Boy Scout troop and we were go on hikes. And you know, the kids have to have the same things or it just causes nothing but trouble. And he thought that was right.
He bought that,
he bought it hook, line, and sinker. And he didn't care. He was selling duffel bags, you know. But I had a reason for it. Oh, we're going to go buy them. And, okay. And actually, I built some more later. Same guys. You know, kids, they lose them, You know, a number of flights later, I went back in the same store and bought some more of them with the same story. It worked like a charm.
Why'd you need them to be all the same?
Because you know how kids are. Well, because... you know, I needed it. We're buying all these things. You know, you don't want them thinking, what do they need these for?
Yeah, right. Okay, sure.
And I don't even know if they would have gone there.
But
they would have a couple of years later, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably, right? Yeah.
But just the reason for doing something. If you always have a reason, nobody wonders.
That's true. Yeah, okay.
You know, okay. Oh yeah, these guys came in, nice guys. They have a Boy Scout troop. They came in and bought about bags today, and that's the end of it, you know? Oh, cool. Not, you know, these guys came up and bought these bags. I wonder what they were using them for. What do you think? I don't know. It doesn't get anything, you know?
No, I see, it's preemptive like that.
Yes.
I get that. So the third flight, too, you didn't have the usual 210, right? The one that you'd had the first two flights.
On the third flight, we had to take a 206 because the 210 engine was being rebuilt. And
this is, and I don't know if I want to say that. I mean, these planes they're being rented. Where did you rent these?
I rent them from Golden West Aviation at Van Nuys Airport.
Okay, cool.
And which is the same place I'm sure Pete was getting his flying lessons later.
Oh, okay.
So
what's different about the 206?
It doesn't have retractable landing gear. The landing gear is just fixed gear. You know, you don't pick. So you go slower. You drag your feet.
Okay,
and,
sure.
And it's like 30 miles an hour slower.
Wow.
Well, I think you go about 152 in the 206 at 2424, which is manifold pressure and RPM of the engine.
Okay.
And in the 210, you'll be going 185. That's fast cruise. So the difference is what, 33 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, sure. What about the and it's got a different door setup, right?
Oh yeah, well, and it has a cargo door.
Yeah.
And we found out once we got into the air, flaps wouldn't come up. And I'm thinking, oh man, what's this now? And I said to Pete, we may have to land and figure out what this is. We don't want to fly all the way home. And
Right.
he said,
I mean, so just to clear it up for anybody who doesn't know, flaps come out and it's going to slow you way down.
oh,
right?
way
Yeah.
down. Yeah. You're not going to be, way down.
Yeah.
You don't want to go over 120 miles an hour with flaps. I mean, you don't want to be going much over 100 miles an hour with flaps. But 120 is max.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, I said, we may, and he said, just a second, let me try something. And he leaned back and he opened the door a little and slammed it and shut it. The door hadn't been completely shut, and there was a little shut-off button that if the door wasn't shut, the flaps wouldn't go up or down. They wouldn't move because you didn't want, if the door was open, you didn't want to ruin the flaps.
Oh, because they hit the.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
I can see, I mean, it's all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
But Pete figured it out. And boop, the flaps came up and off we went.
Oh man.
Yeah, he just shut the door, the cargo door. While we were, we're flying along, and he reached back and click.
So fourth flight, what happens?
Fourth flight, I probably wouldn't even remembered it because it was so smooth, except for one little incident on the way down. I wasn't carrying my lights on. I was being stealthy the whole time. I wasn't carrying lights.
That just seems to me like so dangerous to fly across Southern California with no lights on.
I agree.
Okay, all right.
But because when you're in a light plane like that, you're looking around for everybody else's lights, and they're looking for yours.
Right.
So you should see somebody else. So I didn't worry about it too much.
It's on you to see.
Until I got to the border going south. I was about 5,000 feet, and there was some lights down below off to my left, and it was kind of down towards El Centro and Mexicali and all, just getting down. Well, I think there's a military base down there because as I went by at 5,000 feet, out of the corner of my eye, I flashed this aircraft that came out of the lights and went about 150 feet behind me, 200 feet
Big
behind.
aircraft?
Yeah, it looked like probably a 4-engine military aircraft.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know it was there until I was past. And I wouldn't have known it was there ever if I'd hit it. It would have been a fireball in the night and we'd all been dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So 150 feet. What kind of time are we talking
I'm
about?
going 100.
Fraction of a second, right?
Oh, fraction of a second.
Wow.
Listen, it wasn't much more than 150 feet though. 200 feet. 300 feet at the most.
Oh my God.
But it was pretty close.
Yeah.
And it just, all of a sudden, they came out of the lights, and when there was their lights. See, I could see their lights just as they came out of them.
Right.
Boom, and it went behind me. Whew. Well, after that, I turned my lights on going down. The only time I didn't have them on was in Mexico and when we landed up in Elkhorn Valley.
Right,
after that, I was lights on.
So I want to get this into just as kind of a marker, a tell of the kind of guy you are in a situation like that. What goes through your mind when you see those lights and you realize what just happened?
Whew, that was close.
That's it. Move on. Done.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's behind you.
Yeah.
And everything's that way to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned from it, but can't hurt me, it's behind me. Can't hurt you, it's behind you.
Yeah.
Why worry?
Right. Wow. Okay.
Simple as that.
Nothing else on the fourth flight?
I don't remember anything. Went down, got it, brought it back.
There you go. Fifth flight was different, though, if memory serves. Fifth flight was the flight was fine, but it was the product that was off.
Oh yeah, we've gone over this stuff so much. I can kind of get back which one was which.
Exactly,
yeah.
And I have to be good, transparent. I'm going through our manuscript for my own notes because we've talked about these flights.
Yeah, and you can get it all mixed up over this amount of time, But the fifth flight, everything went fine except we got back, and there was so many seeds in this stuff. It was just absolute, way too many seeds. One Castali was almost all seeds.
Oh my God.
And we all talked about taking it up in the Santa Monica Mountains and taking it over and just dumping them out of the plane in one of the valleys up there where there was a stream in the bottom. Which were most of them. And we thought we would, plant a harvest for the people.
Right, for the people.
Then we thought, that's more trouble than it's worth. It might cost us more trouble. No,
right.
Let's not. I think we took it and dumped it into a Dipsy dumper behind a Safeway or something.
Oh my God.
Truthfully, that's what we did with it. But we also, up behind Pete's house, he had a mother-in-law's house, a little place. It was used as his office. He always did. And so we built a box that was about 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep, 6 feet long or so.
So a coffin?
Well, yeah, it kind of looked like one, but what we used it for is we dump one of the Castalis in there, and then I go through it and take as many seeds out of it as I can.
So you're picking out the seeds, not the buds.
Right.
Okay.
And it was mostly, buds. There were a lot of buds, but a lot of sticks then, too. I mean, it wasn't like the stuff you buy in the stores now.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, so I was going through all that and taking it out, and we couldn't sell it. The guy that was selling it for us couldn't move it, and so we put that deal together, and I was up there taking it out. Pete came in and said, "What are you doing? The stuff's going like crazy." Because at the first, even though we were taking the seeds out, it still wasn't selling for what I was doing by hand. And so I started making £1.25 pounds out of this stuff. Put it £1.25, and what I'm thinking, I'll make up for the seeds.
Yeah.
And I'm starting.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I thought you were just being generous, but no, you're having to manage
but I
the
knew
weight.
I was giving them a little more, but I thought, this will make up for the seeds.
Right,
okay.
right.
So I started making these, and he came up in the office, and he walked in and said, "What are you doing? They're going like crazy. It's going like crazy." And then I didn't say anything, but he just grabbed one of them and put it on the scale, and it said £1.25. He said, "It's £1.25." He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm making it go like crazy." And he stopped and thought for a second, yeah. And I said, "We got another load to go get here pretty quick."
Right.
Yeah, cool.
There you go, right?
And that's what happened. And it went poof. The rest of it got rid of it.
And
we didn't get as much money. Shit, we didn't make hardly any money on this whatsoever.
Yeah, but it came out in the wash with the next load, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened there?
The next load we went to get, he gave it to us for free.
Why?
Because he didn't want to lose us. He knew that load was shit. And Pete said it, and I can't have this. And he gave it to us for free.
A good businessman.
Not bad for a guy that used heroin and cocaine, and he was he shot speed.
Who? Javier?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
I didn't either until I found out later.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Terry didn't tell me that.
Oh, his connection was also no.
But figure, yep.
Oh, wow.
I should,
Yeah.
I found out that later.
Yeah.
But he was always on time. He was absolutely good to his word on everything.
Yeah, what else can you ask for from somebody in a situation?
I'd never had a Latino cheat me. Every Latino I did business with in Latin America while I was in the pot business, not one of them ever cheated me.
Wow.
I'm
going back through your story.
Almost every white guy up here, gringo, almost all of them cheated.
Right.
It's crazy.
That is nuts. Thinking back, all the people you dealt with, from Javier to Jesus, at the end, they were all coming at you like openly and honestly about what they had going on.
And kept their word.
Right. But Scoggins?
The only people that stole from me and didn't were gringos.
Wow. Yeah.
Every partner I had, other than Stephen Kupitz, either stole from me or tried to get me busted.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Damn.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay, so we're like halfway through the flights here. At what point did you quit your day job?
Oh, I'd quitting by this time. I quit after the third flight.
Really?
Yeah. Monique had gone that's when she went to Italy to meet her father.
Oh, yeah.
And she was gone for a few weeks.
Okay.
And a friend of mine, Dave McGordon, and I drove up into this country, into Northern California and all the way up into Washington, and went salmon fishing. We had about a week and a half. I took vacation from work. And on the way back, it was Friday, and we were at Patrick's Point. And I didn't want to go back to work, and I had $13,000 in the bank, and I was going to get another load pretty quick. And I just didn't, I was done with being a projectionist.
Wow.
And I called the head projectionist, I believe I was at Technicolor then, and told him I wouldn't be back Monday. And he said, okay, click. And that's how I retired from the projection business. I'm sure he was glad to get rid of me. I was the worst employee Technicolor ever had. No one was even close.
Was somebody, but were they aware of how bad an employee you were?
Oh,
or
sure.
Were you
I was
just
a union man, though. They couldn't fire me.
Oh, but they, so they, did you think they knew you were sleeping behind the Ray-Bans?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They tried to catch me more than once.
But yeah, being a union man, right? You're like, yeah, fire me if you can. Yeah.
But they were, I'm sure they were more than happy to be rid of me.
Yeah. Wow.
I would have been.
Wow. So you said like by the second, third flight, whenever this happened, you've got 13 grand in the bank. Then how much money did you make on a flight? Typically
About 12 grand.
Okay, and that was just your cut.
Yeah.
Right. And you, wow. So 12 grand. And how much would a load cost you? What were your costs then?
I believe it was about 14.
Okay.
And I never did the math. I trusted Pete. We did the math.
Yeah.
And found out how I probably shouldn't have.
So you had a 50-50 agreement with Pete as far as the profits went for these, right?
Yes.
Okay, so safe to say then that you're profiting somewhere around $25,000 each load, just based on backwards mathing from that
Right.
your cut. Okay, so we did this
Right.
in the book, and we did this later. Let's go through the cost. How much does a load cost you? A load of about 180.
As I remember, it was about $70 a kilo.
Okay, so $70 a kilo. 70 times, we'll say 180. And that gives us a cost of about $12,600 is what it's saying.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
all right. So then, though, you would turn around then and sell the pot at what price point?
$175 a pound.
And that would be, we're
Let me
talking...
think. Let me. It
Yeah.
might have been 150. It
150.
might have been. Let's
Okay.
see. Let's do it at 150.
So how now are these are actual kilos we're talking about, right? These aren't packaged kilos, so these are actually 2.2 pounds when we talk about a kilo of pot. Right?
We're talking about, that's what he said was in each one.
Ah, okay.
And when I'm talking about 180 kilos, that is approximate.
Okay.
But let's say 180 kilos, let's say 2 pounds. 180 kilos
It's 360 pounds.
would be 360, and that's about, what I'm thinking is weight we carried in the airplane, and that's just about it. Probably
Okay.
350, 360 pounds.
So if we did 350 pounds times
350, yeah.
times 150 bucks, that's $52,000. Let's back out $52,500. $52,500 minus your costs, which in this particular mathematical scenario was $12,600. That's $39,900 profit
$40,000, and he paid me 12 of it.
on a 50-50 split.
Now those are the numbers, and they're damn close.
Yeah. Wow. So he was taking twice as much. You got like a 66-33 split
Yep.
instead of a 50-50 split.
Yep.
And you didn't know
I
that.
trusted him. It's that Southern Appalachian mountaineer in me. I trusted him.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, and there you did get things, out of the whole thing. Like case in point, by the time you get to the seventh, it's the seventh flight when you get the plane.
We got the plane after the 6th flight
Okay.
in the rented plane.
Okay.
Yep, we got it. He didn't ask me. He just went out and bought it.
Right.
And
Well.
he sure as hell bought the right plane, and he didn't know anything about it.
Really?
He bought one with a Robertson STOL kit on it.
What's that mean?
It's short takeoff and landing. It's an aftermarket thing you can do to the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Robertson, and you tip, and what it does, it tips the wing tips down a little, changes the leading edge of the wing a little bit. They make it so it will fly slower and take off slower.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's wonderful. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have one without them now. Because on the 8th load, it would save our lives.
Yeah, how so?
No maybes.
Okay, all right, let's talk about that. What happened on the 8th load?
I started to take off. Everything went just perfectly. We took off in Mexico, 1,800 feet. I poured the power to it, and all I could get was 27 inches on the manifold pressure.
How much were you supposed to have?
31 and a half.
Wow, okay. How's that translate as far as like ground speed or air speed? How much less are you looking at? How much
I
less
don't
power?
know what the exact, I mean, figure it. I know what percentage.
I don't know.
You know, I don't know. But it wasn't, I mean,
Oh,
here's
okay,
what-
figuring out a percentage of what it is. So you're about 10% off of, if you're about three pounds of pressure less than you wanted to be at 31, so you're about 10% less power.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that the way to think
And
about it?
at least 10% less
Yeah,
power.
yeah.
And I'm overloaded.
Right.
We're probably close to, well, Pete weighed 220, and then we probably had another, if we'd had two more guys weighing 200, see, we're overweight.
Yeah.
I mean, we put 350 pounds in that back of that plane with Pete and me. We're a couple of hundred, 250 pounds or so overweight.
Okay.
Anyway, we took off down the strip in Mexico, heading south. We're heading south, and all I could get was 27 inches, and I should have shut it down right at the beginning. Turned around, figured out what the problem was, and if we couldn't figure it, you put the plot back in the car and you take it back to Javier and wait till we figure out the problem.
Right, but that's not
But
what you
oh
did.
no, 29 years old and dumb as hell and think I was bulletproof. I'll make it. Just keep on going. It'll be okay. Well, it was barely. We got off the ground. We got to the end, and I'm not going. You know.
Right. So, I mean, did you the whole runway? Did you
Oh
take
yeah,
up
I
the
used
whole?
every bit of it. Got to the end and pulled it up, and we were going just above what we needed to be going. And I mean, as overloaded as we were, we got to 30 feet in the air, and that was it.
Oh wow.
And we just stayed right there. And I mean, there are big saguaro cactuses, boulders, everything, and you can see them going by you. And I'm thinking, but hope does spring eternal. Because I thought all the time, but you know me, we'll make it.
Yeah.
And we did, barely.
Yeah.
We flew for a good minute. It seemed like an hour, 30 feet off the ground. And I mean, and then we got a little more, and I didn't pick up the gear because the Cessna 210 gets dirty when you pick the gear up, meaning the airstream gets a little dirtier.
Right.
And
yeah.
you could lose a little altitude, and I didn't have any to lose. And so I didn't do anything. I just held it there until I got it solved. We gained a little bit of altitude, and I reached down and picked it up. And boy, then we took off. I could feel the acceleration. Just picking that gear up, the extra power, you could feel yourself accelerate a little bit, and the plane started climbing.
Wow. Okay.
And I made a big turn to the right and started for the border. And
But you're still underpowered, right?
What?
You're still underpowered, right? Aren't you?
Oh yeah, 27 inches. That's
Yeah.
all there was. But a Cessna Turbo 210 with 27 inches and a Robertson STO kit on it will get a plane 250 pounds over gross off the ground in hot weather in Mexico. It will work. I did it one time. And we started climbing, and it kept climbing. Usually I'd get to a couple hundred feet, level it off, and we'd zip across, going in low. We didn't have to, but we did it anyway. And I just kept climbing. I went over the border. I was a couple thousand feet high. And I was heading for the thermal VOR. And on my Omni range, when you're heading for a VOR station, there's a little sign in it that says 2. And when you go right over the top of that Omni range, it'll flip to from. And you use that in your navigation to know which way to turn to stay on the Victor Airway.
Should we do a little something about what the VOR was for people who won't know?
Yeah, it's just it's a station that sends off a signal, and it's for airplane navigation. All commercial line, everybody uses it. It's how you navigate in an
They're
airplane.
basically like signposts along the way flying, right?
It's the highways.
Yeah.
It shows you what the highway is,
Yeah.
where you are. You're on a Victor Airway.
Okay.
That's what they're called, Victor Airways.
Okay.
And they have specific ones for flying on instruments.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're just IFR like we were, but you see just how to get to a VOR station, you know where so you can navigate with them.
Yeah.
And I was heading straight for the thermal VOR. And I knew where it was, but I was just heading for it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went over, back in the States now, I went over the top of the thermal VOR. Just the instant that little sign went from to from, the engine redlined. Just went, and I pulled it back to 27, or pulled it back to 24 inches. 24 inches on the prop and off. Then we were just fast cruise.
What was the problem then? Did you realize what it was?
Vapor lock.
Vapor lock.
We've been vapor locked.
Wow.
And the reason is you're coming down from where it's cold at 4,000 or 5,000 feet up, and then you land on a 105-degree desert floor, and then shut the engine off. You can get a vapor lock in your fuel lines.
Wow. So was it a matter of you getting back to that temperature?
No,
or
it's
like
just a
warming
matter
up
of clearing the vapor lock.
Okay.
And I have an electric fuel pump, but sometimes they won't do it for a while.
Oh, wow,
But
right.
it will if you're just sitting on the ground and you push it on, it'll clear it out.
Okay,
And if
okay.
I'd done that, we wouldn't have had this problem.
Wow.
It was, I can make it.
Yeah, just pushing through, right?
Right.
Oh my God.
But a number of planes, I heard of a number of planes, not one or two, half a dozen, turn into fireballs on takeoff in the Mexican desert, flying weed in. And everybody just thinks, they were overloaded. Maybe. But they were also very possibly got a vapor lock, and they did the same thing because your adrenaline's all up.
Sure.
They may have done the same thing I did and just didn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean,
Wow.
we come real close to not making it. So, because I was stupid. Of course, that's usually why.
Well, stupid.
Naive?
I don't.
No. When you do that, that's just plain dumb fuck stupid.
That's and lucky then following along on it that nothing unfortunate happened and you climbed and cleared it, but
Yeah, the luck saved it, but yeah.
and that was this.
We always get back to that, it seems. Though.
So okay, and then I've got 9 and 9. I have you just say in the book it says
walk in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Walk the afternoon walk in the sunshine. I don't remember any of it because it just went off click, click, click.
the 9th app, yeah, but the 10th not so much.
The 10th, not so much.
Yeah.
It went click, click, click. I mean, we had it down by now until we got to Elkhorn Valley. And there was a layer about 200 feet, maybe a little more thick, that you couldn't see horizontally. I could be in it and see the ground below me in the moonlight. I could see the moon and the stars above me, but I couldn't see horizontally very far.
Wow.
And when you're going as fast as you are in an airplane, you want to know where you're going.
Which way?
And there was that mountain, this 2,600 feet peak that was going to be off to the right when I came in. And we got back. Everything was fine. We get there. I could see the lights of Taft down below. So I knew all the stuff by this time. And so I knew about where to go. And so I thought, well, we'll go in there. I could see, the ground and all. But we got past those lights of Taft, and I'm flying along black, dark again. And I knew that 2,600-foot mountain was there, and it was the peak was above where I was.
Oh, dang. Oh, okay.
And
All right.
it had to be,
Yeah.
And so I turned around. I made it 180 and came back, followed the lights of Taft, tried again. Same thing. I tried it 3 times. You get in there and you're just in the dark. And I didn't, you want to know where you are when you got that mountain sitting right there. Because if it gets there too quick, you're done.
Yeah.
So, and then I thought, we had put a guy named Jeffers, who, a friend of Pete's, who, as a lookout in the little road you go over, the little last ridge you go over before you get into Elkhorn Valley on the road, the ones we went on.
Yeah.
On that, just before you come over where you look down, there's the valley.
Yeah.
We had him sitting right there with a radio for a lookout to see anybody coming in any direction. You could see him coming forever, and so we wouldn't be surprised. Just thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And Turned out to be a good idea because I said, have Jeffers sign a light up in the air. So Pete got on the radio and called him and said, shine the flashlight up in the air. And when he did, I was coming around, I told him. And as soon as Pete said that, I mean, not 10 seconds later, out of the darkness, way down below me to the left, this little spot of light came on. And I thought, that's it. And I just aimed right for it. Put the flaps on, we were going slow anyway. I put the flaps on, aimed right for it, and went right for that spot of light. He said, we told us later, we came in 50 feet over the top of him. Mm-hmm. I thought, whew, cool, here we are.
You're in the valley, let's bring it down.
We're in the valley, I can see where I'm going, we're home free now. Mm-hmm. And as I say in the book, Yogi Bear is right. It ain't over till it's over. And I let down too soon, and I made my turn, my final too soon, and came in too high and too hot.
So you come in over Jeffers, and then you've got to go down the valley and turn back some.
Yeah,
to
and
land
then I turn around and make 180 and
right.
come back and land.
Yeah.
Well, I went in and made that 180 too soon, and I came back in too high. And there was a little box. It's not a real box canyon, but you're lower in the valley than you are that little place we came over.
Right.
And but I was above that, but I could either go right, and I thought there was a ranch out there for some reason. When we went up there 50 years later, I was going to look over and see the ranch, and I didn't see anything over there.
I want to make sure that's set up right. So you come in, and you're coming down, but you coming into land, but you're coming in too high and too hot. So you make a decision to abort that attempt and go around again.
Oh yeah,
right?
I had to do something.
Right. Turning one way will take you out over a ranch that is
maybe.
Out that
I
way.
thought there was a ranch, but when we went up there, I looked. I didn't see any ranch over
there.
Yeah. but
that's where the lower hills.
That's where the lower hills were. But I probably could have gotten over them. I probably could have.
Yeah.
But I thought I could get inside the other one. And I turned left instead, and I got inside of the other one barely.
Because that ground comes up really fast, right there.
It sure does.
Yeah.
And we were in almost 90 degrees to the ground. I mean, I had full power, making as hard a left turn as I could make. And Pete says, he's got 3 hours of flight time right now. He says, don't stall it. And I'm thinking, shut the fuck up. And the wingtip, I could see the ground below us, and it was getting closer and closer as we're coming in like that over thing, and then it stopped for a second and then disappeared.
Oh wow!
And I knew we made it, and we went up the valley, about a mile and a half. I haven't taken any chances. Turned around, came in and landed.
Oh, wow!
But that was the last time we would go there.
Yeah. So after, like even immediately after that, you're on the ground. Pot's being unloaded, it's already loaded, and the van's gone, and you and Pete are just waiting. Is there any sort of discussion or like decompression from what just happened? Nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
We flew home, and that was it. We talked about it a couple of days later and decided he wanted to go someplace else.
Yeah. And do you think it was because of that incident? Okay.
See, he was just learning to fly, and I didn't realize it at the time, but he wanted the operation for himself, and he wanted me gone.
Right.
He could have had all that very easily, but we'll get to the rest later.
Yeah. All right. So that was the last landing
at Elkhorn Valley.
And
later on, I was told by customs that we were the first group to use that Elkhorn Valley. There had been 9 others.
Since then.
9 other groups had used it after we had. And I think I see how it happened because I told a friend of mine, Terry, I was going to move a thing in there with him and told him right where they were. He told some other people, and then, here's the place to land.
Oh, that's the plan.
I think it was word of mouth, but boom, boom, boom.
And it seemed like it'd be a great place to land.
It was a perfect place to land.
Right.
I mean, it was the same 50 years later, for
God's sakes. Yeah, exactly. So but you end up flying 13 total flights.
Yes.
Right? We just finished flight 10.
Yes.
What's up with the last 3?
Then we went out and found a place by Ludlow on Highway 40, Tonopah Dry Lake. Now, we didn't land on Tonopah Dry Lake. You go by it, and there's a few hills. You can see them, even from Highway 40 on the other side. You go just over those hills, and there's just desert out there. There's a train track going across, but there's a place in the desert that is probably has water on it when it rains a lot. But it's not really a big dry lake or
Right,
anything.
okay.
But it's enough room that you can land out there. And we went and moved a couple of bushes and stuff. Just fine. And you couldn't see from Ludlow or anybody on that side. On the other side was just the open desert.
Yeah.
There was a train track went by there, about maybe a quarter of a mile from there, but
Yeah, you'd be able to see that.
yeah. But that's the place we used for the last 3 loads. And the second to the last load we did, and then 2 weeks later, with the last 2 loads, we did 2 in one
Two in
night.
one night. Why? Why 2 in one night?
Because it was a lot closer. Ludlow's a lot closer to the strip down in Mexico than up in the Central Valley.
Yeah, you cut a bunch of time off.
Cut a bunch of time
Yeah,
off. So we could make 2 in one night, but I didn't like that either because the last float we came in, it was light when we got back, and I didn't like that at all. No. When you're going to be stealthy, be fucking stealthy.
I can
you
see
don't do
that.
it in the daytime.
And I can see that space in my head too. I've driven Highway 40, and there's just a lot of open space, line of sight for as far
As far as you can see, yeah. And you could when we came in from Highway 40, you couldn't see us because that line of hills was in the way. But anybody out there camping, if the train had come back, engineers have a train, they have a radio and all that.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But so here you are, 13 flights. Now, after that 13th flight, was that the last in your head, or was that a decision that happened afterwards?
Nope. In fact, we made the decision before. After we did the first one out to the Ludlow area, Tonopah.
Yeah.
I said to Pete, I said, when we started doing this, we needed the money. Now we don't need the money. I said, let's quit. I want to quit. And he said, okay. Just like that. I thought I was going to get some feedback or some pushback.
Yeah.
He said, okay. Well, I didn't realize that he wanted me gone anyway. See?
Yeah, so that kind of fit his plans too.
Perfectly.
And he
Oh,
could
okay. But let's do 2 more. We could do 2 in one night. We're close enough. That was his idea, I believe.
Okay.
Or it might have, we made it together.
Right.
But we decided to do 2 in one night, and that'd be it. And we did. What I remember is when we were taken off the last time on the desert, we were all done. I can't remember who took off with the wheel. We had 2 people because one took off with the first load, and when somebody else was there when we got back to take off with the second load. And we were just, as I remember taking off,
And it's light.
it's
right?
light out now.
Yeah.
But the sun hadn't come up yet. And as we got started, we got about 50 feet in the air. And with me gaining altitude, and the sun peaked over the mountains off to the east, way off to the east. And I thought to myself, cool, a new day. I'm done. I've made it.
Wow.
I remember looking and seeing that sun peaked over, and I thought, fucking cool, new day. I've got it. I made it. After we got back to Van Nuys Airport, Pete got in his car and went home. I jumped in my little Honda car and got on the 405 heading over the Santa Monica Mountains, heading back to Marina Del Rey. And I got there about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was rush hour traffic. And when I came over and I got right to Wilshire Boulevard, I was in absolutely stop and go traffic. I mean, it was stopped there actually on the freeway. And I thought to myself, I'm done. I've made it. And I just said yes twice. Yes. Literally cried out myself to no one there. Yes, I made it.
What an amazing feeling.
What an amazing feeling. And then I said, as we put in the book, I had a beautiful girlfriend, I had the money, I had everything, but what I didn't have is any knowledge of what that next 20 years would bring.
It's hard to argue with a feeling like that yes feeling. They don't come along all that often, but when they do, they're very powerful. Powerful enough to blind you to the more subtle, less spectacular things that might be occurring all around. After the flights, Bobby and Monique started readying Serenade to set sail, their plan being to have no plan at all, just see where the wind literally takes them. But what Bobby doesn't know that morning, that yes morning in stop-and-go traffic on the 405, is that events are already in motion that will make all those plans meaningless.
So then I went home again. I went back up, and that evening, Monique and I were there when Jim Spain called and said, Pete's in jail in Mexico. They know everything. Good luck.
Oh my God.
That's next time on The One They Couldn't Catch. I'm Paul Kritz.